Welcome back. Weather, unfortunately, being the typical British weather, summer-wise, is raining, so I'm not going to get what I wanted to get done today. Picked up the parts for the front suspension that were needing refurbished. Engineering company in Cowanning, John Murphy Engineering, again, has been a great help. Has treated some parts for me to do with the front driver's side, which I need to reassemble, and that I picked up yesterday, day before yesterday I think it was. So these are bits which he has done. I'll get to those at some point, but these have all been redone, and I'll get those opened up and checked. But unfortunately the plan was today to reassemble effectively the driver's side to the equivalent of this assembly, the hub, etc., which would require me to have the door fully open and be underneath working on this section here to reassemble it all. But that is not going to happen today with the weather being what it is. Once I get that done, the wheels back on the car, I need to do a little bit just at the bottom of the wing here, just to set it in properly. It's not sitting properly, just flush, bolted at the bottom. I can then effectively get the car on its wheels, take it out the garage, turn it around and bring it back in and work on the driver's side. So that'd be the first time the car has been on its wheels in 20 odd years. I couldn't find the dash at first, couldn't remember where I'd placed it. I had taken it off in 2003, 2002, but what I'll do is, in fact, I'll just plug in a battery. That's an idea, and I'll show you. But found it wrapped up. It had been wrapped up, thankfully, though it had been stored in the garage for 2 and a bit decades. Quite a few of the bulbs were away. These little tiny bulbs that are in the dash are an absolute pig to get a hold of locally. Got to send away for them. But cleared all the glass. I've got some video on that, so it'll be a recap of me doing this and a few other things. It all works. It all now lights up, which it didn't do before. Some of the bulbs were away. Bulb in behind the HVAC system, it was away as well. The bulbs that light up the dials for the radio work. There's a little clip you'll see that I did on the radio. I'll just do a small edited version, but there is a full-length version which I'll leave a link for in the video. Still using my old Seen Better Days battery. It sort of works, but for what I wanted to do, it's fine. Changed the bulb up here. The one that was there was on its road out. In fact, it failed after a while, but it was very dull. It was all silver in finish and was blocking the light coming out, so there was hardly light coming out. But changing, putting a new one in, has remedied that. Didn't have to do anything with a little spotlight. It still works. This is still working as well when you put the lights on. In fact, let's see, it dulls down. Of course the key's in off position, it's not going to light up, but it's, if I put a key on, you'll see maybe. Right, so that's it with the lights on. At night time it dulls down, and then during the day it brightens back up again. I don't know how that well it'll come up on the camera, but it does do what it's meant to do. Put the center console in. In fact, putting the dash in was an absolute nightmare. As I said, I'd taken that dash out quite some time ago, and there's 6 screws that hold us on. There's one behind each one of these displays here. There's 2 lights on each side, and at the edge there's a fixing screw which holds that portion of the dash in place. There's a bolt or a screw in behind here, and 3 at the top, which you maybe see when I'm doing it at some point. But got the first screw in okay. The second 2 must have spent about 20 minutes. Couldn't get the screw to take into the thread. Was slowly losing the will to live after that. Took it back out, tried it back in again. Then went inside the home, came out with a torch, light up to discover I'd left 2 screws in situ to hold this panel where it folds over to stop it sagging down or misshaping in any way. And that was why I couldn't get the screws in. I'd forgotten I'd left those screws there, and I was a bit annoyed. It took me so long to figure that one out. But anyway, fixed all the lights. So the light that's in here, although it does work, there we go. There's a bulb in here for the cigarette lighter. I don't have this connected at the moment, but that will light up when I do reconnect it. Disassembled the wipers and reconnected all that back up. There is a nylon bracket I need to get, which I'm just waiting on the person who's selling them on eBay. He's away on holidays, due back in a couple of days' time. There's a little nylon knuckle which I need to fit into the fixture here, but took the whole lot out. It was quite stiff and needing lubricated and cleaned up, which I did. Managed to get wiper blades eventually. Really difficult to get wiper blades with a pin that goes in this way. Normally wiper blades just click in place now and straight into the arm without a pin. This is just old school stuff, but got these Bosch ones and they fit absolutely fine. I've still got to reassemble parts of the plate there. It's not back on yet. We'll get round to that because I might have to take that back out when I get the knuckle. Took the assembly out, couldn't get it to work when I put it back together again, only to discover the bottom earth must be connected. And if that bottom earth is not connected, which sits just in there, if that isn't connected, you can see the little screw, there's an earth on there. So that connects to this harness here where the power comes in. Even though there's 4 cables on it, this earth is a separate affair and it must be connected. If it's not connected, the wipers don't go back to park and they just stop wherever you stop the power to them, and they wouldn't reset. Took me about an hour trying different things out to work out that wasn't connected. Forgot that, and that's what it was. And I think that's just about me. If there's anything else I can think of, I'll just add it into the video in the August update. But not a great deal done this month, unfortunately. Not as much as I would have liked. And that's that. So literally, I'll edit stuff together quickly and with some music in the background, which will give an idea of what's been done over the last month.
Here on Radio 1. Radio 1. Yeah. Traffic news from Radio 1. Radio 1 Top 20. Traffic news from Radio 1.
The front grille, these were an absolute nightmare to clean back in the day. I remember these slats. Oh, what a nightmare they were. Did what I could. This has come up not bad from this angle, but when you look straight on, the leading edge has lost its shine, if you like. It's just tarnished. I've still to try and clean up this edge here, which I've not done yet. Have done this edge, which has its reflective part. This is still kind of cloudy looking. Obviously, one of the many parts you can no longer get. Probably couldn't get it since about 1985, but that's what it is. So I'm just going to make do with what I've got. If there was a brand new one of these in stock somewhere, I can tell you it would go for an absolute fortune. One of the features of the car is the Mitsubishi 3 Diamond logo, which I have managed to source a new one. The car didn't come with one, it must have been lost at some point. I remember them being popular items for being stolen back in the 80s, but I managed to get a new old stock one, stick it on the car. If I could get one of these made, I would, but where I could get one made at such detail, I don't know. But I'm going to finish cleaning this section up and polishing it and getting it the way it should be, and that's another job done as well.